Here we go, guys. Let me know about the audio levels, because the desktop audio should be the same as what it was when I was recording. Yep, so far so good. But maybe it is so what? What if I eventually beat it, you know? Let me know how the audio levels are. It should be fine. It should be perfectly normal. So, yeah, I just contextualized, right, the difficulty of getting this run. This is... I genuinely think it's the best run of this game in history. I really think it is. Also, you'll see my mouse pop up on the splits a lot because I'm clicking back on it to make sure that my split works, like when I press spacebar and it will go and use the timer. So again, context for this game, guys. This is one of those games where there is a bunch of dialogue, right, before the game starts. So every single restart, there's like 3 to 4 minutes, right, of just pressing X and other like menu inputs before you start. So the moment something goes wrong in your run, you need to skip 3 to 4 minutes of dialogue to start a new run, right? And you can see my attempt counter, 1,339. This probably actually also includes my console splits. But I want you to think about that, right? Let's actually calculate this while we're in the intro, right? And this is just for no passwords alone, you know, let alone other categories. There's like 3 minutes of untimed dialogue to skip, and then there's another minute of dialogue to skip that is timed every time before you actually get into the gameplay. So, 4 minutes every reset. We have done over 5,000 minutes, right? How many hours in this? So, 90 hours approximately of just skipping this intro to get this run. 90 hours of just skipping this 4-minute intro to get this run. Please just think about that for a second. Think of what you could do in 90 hours, right? Just think about it, you know? Anyways, so I always talk a lot about what we're looking for duel-wise and drop-wise. Hi, Bones. Hope you're doing well. And you guys are going to see some pretty cool stuff, okay? I got Roaring Ocean Snake, which I think in most cases, or maybe all of the cases in the run, I can't quite remember, I probably would have been fine if it was Kairu Shin instead of Roaring Ocean Snake. I don't think it would have made a massive difference if I had Kairu Shin instead of ROS, but I did have ROS, so I did put that in. But I got another really good drop, right? I got another really good drop in this run, right? I got Monster Reborn. So this is a run where I don't have a second dimension hole. But I got Monster Reborn, and we are gonna see why I have talked about how cool that card is. We definitely use it a few times in the run, and what I'm really satisfied about in No Passwords is, like, you get to be very creative, okay? You get to play with cards that you normally don't. In 80%, you just wouldn't put them in for certain reasons, but, so I think, you know, a lot of people, like, when I, not just me, but, like, anyone, if they go into a stream and they played, like, say if they played a lot of Forbidden Memories and people are asking them, like, you know, what's the appeal to speedrunning a game that has RNG or whatever? And I talk about that, like, these games reward, like, wit and playmaking and, like, you know, freedom of play and creativity more so than, like, raw input. And that's why I like not just this game, but No Passwords as well. Like, you know, you don't know what you're gonna get in a No Password run. You can assume that you're gonna get mostly the same stuff, right? Most runs. You missed it, yeah, because it was offline. It was an offline run. I did say that, right? Yeah. Okay, so literally everyone missed it, which is why I'm replaying it now. But hi, I hope you're doing well. So yeah. I know I should probably be commentating the duel right now, but for example, on the Taya and the Tristan, nothing spectacular really happens, to be totally honest, right? Nothing crazy happens. I'm just gonna be dead honest with that. If you've watched my stream before, you would have seen a Taya and Tristan like this a million times before, probably. You know, you just let her crash into you, then you just kill her here. It's really nothing spectacular. It'll probably get more interesting as we go, especially in the last half of the game. There'll be a lot more to talk about. Another thing about the edit, I took the rocks out of my deck because I needed to fit in the cards like Monster Reborn. So this run ended up, I removed both rocks. So unfortunately, guys, no Mystical Sand. I'm sorry, but I don't think I summoned Mystical Sand at all in this run. I do get a Dancing Elf here, but I don't recall using it much at all. Oh yeah, and I got a 3 in a row Summon Skull, but it was just normal Summon Skull, so I didn't bother putting it in. Summon Skull, it's not the worst card ever, but basically it's just... It only really does what Great Mammoth does, but Great Mammoth is good on all the Wasteland duels. So Summon Skull in this run is effectively a worse version of Great Mammoth, which you already have in your deck. It's marginally... Like, it is stronger on Madon Fabula Chakra, specifically, but that's the only duel that I would say it's superior for over Great Mammoth. No, I do not put Summon Skull in the deck at all. I believe I forgot that I had it, to be honest. I like TSS, and I would definitely consider putting it in, like... I mean, I put a Monster Reborn in, so like, say if I got TSS and I didn't get Monster Reborn, I maybe would have considered putting TSS in, because that's one of those cards where you really just... You just kind of, like, you can use that to beat MFLC, but mostly it's good for Pegasus. Like, you get Dimensional, tune Summon Skull on Pegasus, it's like the fastest way you're gonna beat him, pretty much. Also, I need to say something. I don't want to spoil the run massively, but you'll be surprised how some of the duels go. I didn't get Dimensional on Pegasus or Lab Ruler at all. And I would say there are some duels like the Lab Ruler I felt like I could have played differently, but it obviously didn't matter. I finally got the run that I was looking for. But like, I didn't get Dimensional on Pegasus, I didn't get Dimensional on Lab Ruler. I didn't get 2-turn Seto. And you'll see there's actually one of the duels. If you looked at the split cellar, you see that I lost like 2 minutes on MFLC. So there was a lot of things that, you know, you can improve on this run, but everything was just so good across the board. You know, I had really good pace going to Grandpa, and then my Grandpa was spectacular, and I didn't really miss a step between them and the boss. And I had so much time banked that I could get OTK'd by MFLC and still play on, and then I just kept drawing into really good stuff, which was really, really nice. And, you know, like, the duels where I mentioned, like, Pegasus Lab Ruler, I didn't get Dimensional, but they were probably as good as they were going to be without having Dimensional, and I did use cards that I had. I got really lucky on some of them as well, so we'll see when we get there, right? Okay, so going into Mai is one of the big walls in this game for sure. Most runs actually just straight up die to Mai Marco. They're two of the hardest duels in the whole game. And not just to play, like, casually, but in the speedrun, you have very few cards that are good on them. If I recall, I had a dragon on this duel. I believe I use the dragon here to send it to move forward. Yeah, so I check my hand in front of me, and I notice I have the dragon. So my play immediately is to send it up here. Now, all the Red Rose Duelists... And this is opposite for the White Rose, right? But basically, for the Red Rose Duelist, if you have a monster to their left, because they're inclined to move to the left side of the board, to try to move to the left side of the board, they actually move forward to try to get around your threatening monster. It doesn't move to the right instead. That's just how it's programmed. So here I know I have Rose Spectre of Done, so my play here is actually... I attacked over that with Lesser Dragon to see what my next play is. Now I know, with what I've got in my hand, I can attack with Rose Spectre of Done here. And in this position, because she has a monster to her right side, she actually moves 2 spaces to the left here, even though I have a Lesser Dragon there. But she's just trying to get away from the Rose Spectre of Done. Luckily, she moves to the left instead of backwards. Like I just mentioned, all the Red Rose Duelists, they just want to move to the left. So after she's done that forward move and there's nothing blocking her to move to the left, she moves to the left, right? And I know I have a Spellcaster in my hand. So I can fuse my Spellcaster Overless Dragon to attack the 2000 now, because I'll be creating Blackland Fire Dragon attacker. I also had a rock there. I could have killed it with Stone D, it doesn't really matter. But that was a very good duel. So my pace already is really strong, and it's like, I've had so many paces like this, like sub 7 Mai's, that it's, you still, a run can die to Marco or Shadi or anyone really. So I don't really get too crazy excited. But look who it is, guys! It's a Monster Reborn, and I had no idea how important Monster Reborn was going to be in the run. I always talk about how great it is as a card. There's just a lot of strategies, a lot of cool things you can do with it. It's a very flexible card. It's really, really awesome, right? It's hard to fit in because it's 50 deck cost, but it's so fucking strong. It's so versatile, and also it's no summoning cost, which is... You'll see Monster Reborn in the run, okay? You'll see it in the run, and it'll be like, holy shit. That card was really, really, really an MVP. ROS, I would say, was the MVP of this run, but that in tandem with Monster Reborn made some of these duels just insanely good. And it's just really exciting. It was really exciting to play with, and I hope it's as exciting to watch. So yeah, we go into Marco, and again, I don't even know if I'm going to get past this guy. If I don't draw any good cards, I can get punished really hard. I got super lucky here, though. Like, really, really lucky, and you'll see why, right? So, I kind of feel like I didn't really have anything on this guy, and if he played anything stronger, I would have been pretty fucked. So I opened with nothing. Here, there's really no particularly good play. You could argue the best play is to, like, end with a Skull Servant and hope to draw into Yami, but I didn't really think that was going to win me the duel, right? So I just I'm just putting my rocks on the board. I have no idea how this duel's going to go right now. And then he opens to the right, and he equips. And already, I kind of feel like this run's gonna die, because I've seen this so many times before, and that card could be up to 2600 attack. As it turns out, we didn't have to worry about it at all. I'll show you why. So, here I get rid of this card, because I wanted to regenerate summoning power, so I didn't get rid of the plant there, but I know I've got Gruesome Goo. I'm hoping that I can do something with that, so I keep it. Now he fuses. Now I kind of realize... he probably has Aqua Dragon there, which means the first card is 1 SP, and he probably won't move it at all. So he defends with it. That means that that first card would be Lone Eater or Change Slime. But even with an equip, it's below 1500, so he doesn't move it anymore. So what I can do now is I can ditch everything. I keep the zombie, you'll see why. But I can attack him directly with Gruesome Goo. And then what actually happens here, I flip up the Kagemusha, alright? So, because I've got a monster to his right, he's going to move to the left immediately over the card he just played. So I don't have to worry about Aqua Dragon anymore. An important thing about flipping up the Kagemusha is that he's going to kill that, right? Having a weak card there, he's just going to kill the weaker card anyways. So at this point, I can attack him again with Gruesome Goo and just kill him with the Skull Servant if I really need to. But the main reason why I kept the zombie was because if I draw into Mammoth Graveyard, I would just kill him because he's got 2200 health, right? Luckily for me, I was good either way, but I just checked in case I did draw into the Mammoth, and I did, so I just kill him with that. But if I didn't draw into that, I could have killed him with anything there, because I had a second attack there from the Gruesome Goo ready. So basically at the point that, like, we knew we were winning that duel, right? So this is really good, okay? I've had a lot of paces around this point, right? And they never turned into anything, so... I was just like, whatever, I was just chilling, really. Even though it's really good pace, I was just chilling. Then I saw the ROS and I got really excited. So I went to grab that, and I actually tried to get a power-up for it, because that can be useful, but I missed. I got Kaioshin instead. And I never really want to put Kaioshin and ROS in the deck. I kind of want one or the other. If you put both in, you need to create a lot of room for it, and also, if you draw both of them in a duel, they're not good, you brick really badly. So, in my mind, I was just not going to bother with Kaioshin. My plan at this point was to do Monster Reborn and ROS, and I was getting a little bit excited because after Marco, I'm pretty confident I'm going to get to Grandpa, right? Joey should be fine, and the Shadi should be fine, right? So, here comes Joey, and I'm pretty confident with my Joey. I expect to get past this still in about 4 turns, same as Shadi. And when I'm on pace like this, and I'm happy with my pace, I do tend to play a little bit carefully here rather than greedy. Really just depends on what you draw, right? So, always with a hand like this, your best play is just as much damage as possible. Sending up the Wasteland. And like you saw on Mai, if we have a card to the left side of his leader, any of the red rows, then they move forward, right? This is a very basic setup. Now, I keep the Cyberstein there because I can use that to attack him directly to create Wasteland. So if I draw an Ukazi here, I could activate it, and then next turn attack him with Cyberstein, and then lethal him. I didn't, so I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna play a 4-turn, okay? I'm not gonna bother. I'm just gonna play it safe and secure a 4-turn, because I'm playing on after that point, obviously. I still attack him with Cyberstein anyways, because it's really just what I had planned in the first place. But what this meant, without drawing like Ukazi or something, was that I just had to kill him in 4 turns, really. And I did draw into Violet Crystal, but it's completely useless. I don't have anything to really do there. Reminder that zombies are weak on Mountain, so if I didn't create the Wasteland tile there, my Great Mammoth would have only done 1700. Anyways, he plays back left, moves to the right. I know that's not a trap card. If it was a trap, he would play behind him and defend with it. And in that case, I could have attacked that face down with my Great Mammoth in 1 here anyways. But yeah, at this point, like, the run was still fine. Losing a few seconds here is nothing. Like, so many duelists in this run can completely kill your run. So, like, losing a few seconds here did not matter at all. I just had to get past him, in all honesty. Shadi's a bit similar. I just kind of expected it to be a 4-turn. I do believe it was a 3-turn in the end. I played Dimension Hole, and then did Dimension Hole 3 attacks, right? Also, I got Kunai with Chain from... I don't even remember using Kunai with Chain at all in this run. You know, I always imagined that the run would use, like, Nekigel or something, or... But I don't even remember playing Nekigel in this whole run. I don't think there was any point where I drew it, or it was to play, or whatever, so I don't even remember playing Nekigel this whole run. Nekigel number 2, that is. So we get to Shadi. I would say Shadi is, like, the second most consistent duel in the game. He's the person you're most likely to get past apart from Tristan, I would say. So I'm never really worried going into this guy. If you sense that your hand is pretty shit, you always can draw more cards, and there's a lot of cards you can draw into that are really good. So here, I would say that I really should have got rid of the Violet Crystal, because if I assume that I'm going to draw into a zombie, I don't need the Violet Crystal, because I have Great Mammoth. I got pretty lucky, though, with how this ended up, and I'm pretty okay with how this ended up. So I drew nothing, which is kind of my fault. I didn't pitch more cards, but I knew that I had this. So I was like, whatever. I'm just going to get rid of everything. Damage control, just kill him with the 2k attack. And then as long as I draw into a zombie next turn, like, I'll be fine. I'll just be able to kill him with that, right? I believe he activates a spell here, which is good, because that cleared this card out of the way. I still was far enough ahead where even if he, like, cucked me there, I wasn't really too bothered. I'm also not sure if he would have activated Dimensional if he played it there, because he feels a bit threatened by that Rose Spectre still. He doesn't really know that my Rose Spectre can't move on Crush, and Rose Spectre is within effective attacking range of his deck leader, so he kind of panics at that point. But really, I mean, that duel's fine. I saved a bit of time because it was a 3-turn, but I would have been happy with a 4-turn either way. It's just nice that a lot of these duels are really good, because if you consider that I'm not, like, ahead by a minute here, and then I have the rest of the duel the same, you know, we don't get the sub 105, so a lot of this pace is really cool. Having a really good Mai, really good Marco, and, you know, like, 3-turn Shadi, really, it all contributed to the final time, right? So it's really good. So, we get to Grandpa. Statistically, most of your runs will die to Grandpa. He is a menace. But I had a very good Grandpa, and this is kind of where when I get past Grandpa and I'm green, I'm like, okay, we've actually started a run now, you know, and I've had plenty of 3 to 4 hour sessions where I don't even get past this guy green, so it is exciting to get past this guy. Really, it is. So in the edit, my edit is pretty slow, but the funny thing is, because of how important, like, the frame of the game is when you enter a duel is, it doesn't matter how slow this was, because I went into Grandpa with a very good frame, a very good duel. So, even if you lose 10 to 20 seconds over a fast Reddit here or whatever, you avoid losing minutes if you go into Grandpa on a good frame. I reincarnate Basic Insect, and I believe I get Griggle and Karibo after the Sinister Serpent. Sinister Serpent's pretty useless. You could fuse it with a rock to make Mega Zowler, but I actually removed the rocks here because I really wanted to move in my Monster Reborn as well as my Roaring Ocean Snake, which is a lot to fit in. Like, they're like 50 deck cost each. And I'm trying to drop the deck cost by like 80, you know? Or 70, close to 70, so I had to take out a lot of stuff. And I opted to take out the rocks because I didn't even have Spring of Rebirth. I didn't have anything that made the rocks really particularly good. And I think really the only time that rocks were going to be useful is like having a Stone D, but you have a dragon, you have one dragon only in the deck, and like you have zombies and you have a machine and stuff, so it's not a big deal to play without the rocks. They're bricky and they're not high impact on themselves. So anyways, immediately drawing this was a good sign. Again, I still don't know how this run is going to be. I recheck the, I make sure that I don't fuse away my Blue-Eyed Silver Zombie. I was almost thinking about not playing my 3-star and then trying to draw Shadow Ghoul next turn. I was thinking about that. Then we get here and I'm like, okay, I really want to play Shadow Ghoul next turn. So I reserve summoning power there. You notice I don't play the Lizark because now I have 2 summoning powers, so I'm going to have 5 next turn. So if I draw into the Shadow Ghoul, I can play it. If not, well, I can keep drawing cards. Luckily, I draw it. So this is actually so good. It's not optimal, but having both of the Blue-Eyed Silver Zombie and the Wall Shadow so early, very, very good. If you don't, you know, like, early attempt, I had Blue-Eyed Silver Zombie as the last card in my deck, and I lost like 3.5 minutes on this split, you know? It happens. It's very, very common. At this point, I didn't want to fumble too much. You know, I would die if he time sealed, but like, the odds of him having time seal in this duel is like 15%. Like, the odds of him not having it are like 80 to 90%, right? And there you go. So when he plays back left, it is a monster. You can also see if they power something up or like dump something to the graveyard, it is a monster as well. But we know when he plays back to the left, it's a monster, so there's nothing. He's not going to stop me winning there, so I just got a really good grandpa there, which is very good when you're on pace and get a good grandpa. And at this point, you've started to run, and you're just wondering who is going to kill the run. All you're thinking about is like, how is this going to go wrong? And as it turns out, well, one thing did go wrong in this run, but luckily it was the only thing that went wrong in the whole run. Luckily, it was the only thing that went wrong. So yeah, we're going to Bakura now. Bakura is one of the duelists where most of the time you get a 4-turn or better, right? But otherwise, if you don't beat him in 4 turns, or he plays something on his second turn that can't go into Crush, you're probably losing 1 to 2 minutes. Like, it's really scary, actually. It's one of the duels where you can lose a lot of time on that you just can't get back, right? So, opening hand, right? We're looking for a Forest Fusion pretty much all the time. Now, I already have one in my hand. I have Rose Spectre of Dun. So what I do is I just play one component on the Crush, and then I'll move that forward on the second turn, and then just play a Fiend on top of it. And from that point, I'm pretty good, as long as he doesn't have... his second card isn't too strong to go on Crush, we're fine. Honestly, we're fine. So we make the Rose Spectre of Dun here. What he's going to do is move to the left. Then he plays a monster back left. And then if that monster can go on Crush, he moves it forward, and that's good, because when he moves this card forward, you'll see he moves this card forward right. Now, because the AI doesn't really want to move onto his monsters if it has a free space to move, instead, he moves forward. So we attack him there, we get the free hit in. And next turn we move forward. And then in any situation, even if I didn't really have a lot of damage in my hand, I can just attack him again with Rose Spectre of Dawn, and then I need, like, what, 150 damage to kill him, which is basically anything that I play that doesn't get destroyed by his deck leader. But I know that I've got ROS, so I just opt to play ROS and attack him with that. I don't even really know if this is particularly that much faster than attacking with, like, Rose Spectre of Dawn and then, like, my Great Mammoth, for example. Or, sorry, my Mammoth Graveyard, but I was like, whatever. I may as well just use it. So, ROS, that's one of the ROS lethals we get in this run. One of them. But not a very important one. It's probably the least important one. So, at this point, Yugi, usually I break even on Yugi. I'm only going to save time on him if I get Dimension Hole, and I'm not expecting it. on him at all, and I would rather get Dimension on than some of the other duelists in the game. But with Yugi, he could be a huge problem as well. He can be a massive problem. There's a lot of things he can do to troll you, and I think the big problem with Yugi is he's really unpredictable. He can either just have his worst cards at the top of his deck, or his best cards in the best sequence possible, and be complete like anime mode, where he just completely does everything in his power to just completely annihilate you. But this duel ended up being pretty smooth, and you kind of see early on what's going on, right? So we always try to play a card up here. Now, I kind of look... I know I'm not going to use a fake trap, obviously. I'm not going to use the obese marmot. I played the Lizard here, because what... Basically, I want 1300 attack, but I have to play something weaker than 1500, right? So I played the Lizard, because then, if he played a monster in front of him and he kept moving that forward, I could put my Lizard on the forest, he would attack into it, and his monster would die. Like, that's very important that I have that play. I check here just in case I get Dimensional, but I don't. But I have a Fiend's Hand, and I have a Great Mammoth Fusion, so at this point, I'm just committing to this play. It's too late for Dimensional to be stupidly good, so I'm just trying to play this as fast as possible, basically. So, I ditched the fake trap there. I don't really need to, but the important thing is I play Fiend's Hand here, in case he plays something really high attack in front of him and moves it forward. Because I need to get that card off the field if that's like Summon Skull. I just have to get it off the field to play. He moved it out of the way. Now, I don't know what this card is. He doesn't sort me or anything here. But at this point, he's in that corner, right? I just need to kill him. I just need to attack him until he dies. I attack him directly with Great Mammoth. I do as much damage as I possibly can. And I believe he doesn't have anything to stop me, which is really good. Because he has a lot. He could top deck Negate Attack or Mirror Force. He could have Swords on the field, Swords Revealing Light, and activate that. He could play a monster and kill me. Usually if he plays a monster here, though, he just moves it onto the mountain. I don't know why he does that. Especially if it's too weak to move it there. But because he didn't really do anything there, I just attack him again, kind of hoping it works, and it does. If not, I can attack with another card in my hand and play from there. So, everything's pretty good so far. So you're kind of wondering, okay, how's my MFLC going to be? This guy can literally just annihilate you. He can just literally OTK you, right? So, I'm just very glad that I go into this duel ahead by almost 2 minutes, because I don't think this pace is going to last at all. But what this means is it's like a buffer. If one of the duels goes wrong now, I'm still on a pace where I can continue, and that's very important, because that is exactly what fucking happens, and you'll see it, right? You'll see. Dark Magician edit. You mean the edit that I didn't do? I don't edit the deck a second time. I didn't get anything worth putting in. But yeah, like I mentioned, I've had so many of my runs crush my pace lately that I was still pretty composed here. I was kind of expecting something to go wrong, but the funny thing is, the duel I had was probably so bad that I think him killing me and me going back in was probably better than if I continued on, like if I didn't get OTK'd on the first duel here, right? So, you'll watch. This is the only bad part of the whole run. This is the only bad part of the run. And you'll see exactly what happens, right? So, this guy, for anyone who hasn't heard of this game, like doesn't know much about this game, he has a card that halves your life points and adds it to a monster. And because he responds with a monster attacking you and he automatically equips his power-ups, if he has a monster that beats you right, it's a higher attack than yours. And when he halves your life points, you have 2,000 life points and he's added 2,000 life points to a monster. And then, so that is an OTK, he kills you. So here I'm kind of thinking about what I want to do. I just kind of want to attack him. I want to deal some damage, and then I'll attack him next turn with Shadow Ghoul. I don't really have a big plan here. I'm expecting this monster to die 100%. 100%. But I didn't really want to get OTK'd here, obviously, because this killed my dude. Hi 4, hope you're doing well. I got it like an hour ago. I got it offline. So yeah, there he Ryoku's a card. I'm not surprised he has a higher attack card than me, obviously. But he Ryoku'd it so that I die here. But my pace is still pretty good. So I'm like, whatever. I'm not too mad. I'm just gonna go back in the duel and hope that that's good. I would only get really shitty if I had like 2 or 3 bad, really bad runs or bad duels against him. But I was like, whatever. I'll just go back in and just see how it goes. You know. Like you can see, I've still got pace here. Like the first fucking 9 duels were so good, I could afford to get OTK'd by this guy. You say you believe. You realize I already got this, right? Like you know the run is done. Like you don't have to wish good luck in the channel point redeem because like this is a win. All right, here's a really funny duel, right? Here's a really interesting duel. We have ROS and Monster Reborn in the hand. I want you guys to guess. I want you guys to guess how this plays out. So, I'm keeping the Monster Reborn in case something goes wrong, because I do have plans, right? But I flipped the ROS up because in this case, if he doesn't have anything that can beat 2600, I actually could kill him next turn, right? I could kill him next turn. But he responds. He responds with a Black Skull Dragon, which is going to kill me. Luckily, he didn't Ryoku me, because that would have been very sad. But it's like, whatever. He's killed my monster. It's not a big deal. Okay? Now, this is really funny, because he's done this before, but it was very beneficial, actually, that he does this. So, I just want to avoid this thing attacking me, really, and my plan is to kind of play Monster Reborn next turn to revive my, ROS, and then attack him again, but he Dark Holes. Now, you wonder, why would he Dark Hole that? Well, it's because the AI, they programmed the AI very, very, very badly. They programmed it very badly. I'll get back to that in a second, but what I do here, I Monster Reborn, but I don't activate yet. So if we have a non-monster in front of him, or something that doesn't have an attack value above 0, he plays out of the way if he doesn't respond to it. So, I can use Monster Reborn to revive anything from the graveyard, so I'm going to revive his Black Skull Dragon. And I'm going to attack the boss directly with his own Black Skull Dragon. And now I can move forward and then play a monster over this and attack him again to OTK him. So that's why I make the play that I play there. Now back to him Dark Holing, just quickly for anyone who doesn't know. Oh, this happens a lot, and I don't know why, but the AI in this game are given conditions when to activate something, but for a lot of them, the coding is wrong, so basically they only activate it when they don't meet those conditions. So this guy will always activate Dark Hole unless he actually meets the conditions intended for him to activate Dark Hole, which is you having like 3 really high attack monsters on the field, and the highest attack monster on the field. So even though he had Black Skull Dragon, I had nothing, he Dark Holed. Because, yeah, bad programming. So that's cool. Awesome. But yeah, that is one of the players you'll see with Monster Reborn. Not the best one, but it's a good one. And I was thinking after I did that, the cool move would have been to actually Monster Reborn the Red Eyes Black Dragon. It still would have lethaled with the Dragon Zombie. But, because that would remove it from the graveyard and I would get graveyard slotless. But, we got the sub 105, so I don't regret a single thing that I do. Because that obviously changed the frame that we entered all the other duels in, and we got the run in the end. So yeah. But yeah, at this point, I'm really happy with my pace. I don't really care that my MFLC was bad, because everything was so stupidly good. Everything was so stupidly good in this run. Yeah, I think 4 is being sarcastic. Anyways, I will be right back while the credits are playing. I'll be right back. And we're back. What timing? There's potential to sign. You'll be surprised. Again, spoiler, we don't even get Dimension Hole on Pegasus or Lab Ruler. So, like, it's just insane. You guys, here's the thing. You guys understand how many attempts and how long it took for me to just get sub 105 right. See how many things went wrong? You would think that we could have achieved this by now, right? But that's how many things that can go wrong. It's a complete fucking minefield of a run. So much can go wrong that it doesn't matter how good your pace is, you will lose 2 to 3 minutes on multiple different people. So easily. No passwords is definitely the most brutal category in this game. I don't even think it's close, really. I think this is much more difficult category than everything else. So yeah. It's very nice to get this. Very, very, very nice to get this. So yeah, we're in the second half now, and I've had so many runs die in the second half that I think it actually improved my composure. It stopped me from getting too, you know, it affects my emotions less when I'm on good pace and everything, because I'm just like, whatever, like, I'm just playing the game, you know, I'm not thinking too hard into it. I can't really explain how much more difficult it is without someone playing 80% and then playing this. I really can't explain how much more difficult it is, because every single duel is way more likely to kill your run. So yeah, we're on Rex, right? And Rex is a run killer, but luckily for us, I believe we get Dimensional here. Now, Dimensional is the fastest way to beat this guy. You can get a free turn, but the very important thing about Dimensional is the success rate is a lot higher than any other thing, because he doesn't know. I'm commentating on this live right now. The run has happened, but I am commenting on this live right now. So hi, David Mitchell. So the thing why Dimensional is so good here is you don't have to worry about, like, Eternal Rest. That's one of his 40 cards that will, like, instantly kill your run, basically. But at this point, I think losing timed MFLC, like, this hand, I know I basically won, right? So I'm just going to play my Pump King. And then the next turn, I have the Monster Reborn to revive a Pump King to kill him, unless I draw into something else. I believe I draw into Dark Assailant and kill him with that. I drew into something that was 1700 or higher. It doesn't really matter what he plays here. It's really unlikely that he was actually going to successfully defend here. That's like the only thing that would have killed the run. And obviously, because he's opening with his highest attack card on the first turn, it was really unlikely that's going to happen. So yeah. Now at this point, like I mentioned, yeah, we drew Shadow Ball. Otherwise, my play there is to just Monster Reborn, revive my Pump King and kill him. So, I'm very glad that duel went well, and at this point, I'm just kind of like, you know, I just hope to, like, survive and get to Weevil and Pegasus and see how they go, before I really have any idea about how the run's gonna go. And the Bones, it's a really standard duel, okay? The Bones is just a 4-turn, it's really nothing crazy. I didn't get anything that, you know, set me up to do anything else, really. I don't have Dimension Hole, so I'm at the mercy of if he decides to play Dark Hole, and he doesn't play Dark Hole. And then I have decent enough cards to do a 4-turn, so as you'll see, we're just going to be doing the normal 4-turn strat. For those of you who aren't aware, if you look at where I position my cards, this is a very old strat. I did not come up with this. Most of the strats in this game I didn't come up with, by the way. This Bone strat is very, very cool. I'm glad this was found a long time ago. If you look at where I position my first 2 cards, it manipulates him to play his cards a certain way, right? So here I see the Great Mammoth, so I actually opt to play the Fake Trap first in case he Dark Holes me. Because if he does, what I can do is move to the left, and then play my Great Mammoth top left and send it at him, and hope that works. Luckily, he didn't anyway, but at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna... I just play anything in defense mode on my second turn here, and then play my Great Mammoth on the third turn, and we should be good. So, if you do exactly what I do on these first 2 turns, what he'll do now is he plays to the right, and then because his movement to the right is blocked, he moves forward to try to get around that monster to keep moving to the right instead of moving left. I mentioned that on the Red Rose side is the opposite, so he always wants to move one direction, and he couldn't, so he moved forward to get around it, because he can't move backwards to get around it, obviously. At this point, it's really safe. He doesn't always defend there, but because he did, this is a really good position to be in. Because pretty much no matter what happens here, I'm going to kill him next turn, unless I don't have the damage to. So, like, for example, if the monster he played here actually were to kill my Great Mammoth, I can move forward and kill him. His monster doesn't kill my Great Mammoth, so I just attack him a second turn with Great Mammoth, and the duel is... This is a very standard, very normal, not too crazy duel, right? And yeah, little bits of time save. I'm not really worried about if we save like 5 to 10 seconds on these duels. It's like whatever, honestly. It comes in handy. Every little bit of time save mattered because it was nice to get sub 105 rather than just like 105 something. It was really nice, so it did come in handy. I do kind of usually look for the drop from this guy, but I was never honestly going to edit my deck a second time. It was very strong and I had nothing else to really justify a second edit, so I just go straight into Weevil, and I'm going to finish the game with the deck that I have. I'm pretty happy with it. I've got ROS, I've got Monster Reborn, and my pace is really good here, honestly, even if I'm red by 7 seconds. I could honestly have got... I could PB even I'm like +2 or +3 here, if the rest of the run was good. I am very excited to leave this grind behind. You know, the reason I started doing offline runs was because I was getting so shitty at the game, and I wasn't really myself, you know, it's kind of consuming me. You know, it's kind of changing who I was. Here... This was so lucky. I finally fucking got. That's the Karibo I reincarnated for, okay? And I open with my Lizard. So I can play Chimera. The only way for him to beat him, to beat this monster, is if he equips twice on his first turn. He equips once, so the max attack can beat is 2500 attack. So I don't have to worry about what that is. Very, very lucky that I opened with that, and very lucky he didn't kill it. Because he can kill it if he double equips. But he has to equip twice. Otherwise, the highest attack you can play is, like with one equip, is a 2500 attack Giant Fleet. Now, normally I fake out his trap, but here, you notice he dumps a monster and equips, so we know that's a monster, we know it's not a trap card. So the really awesome thing here is that I can just attack him directly, I don't need to do anything else, I just go for the kill, and we get the 3-turn Weevil. This is the Weevil you dream of, you know, just being able to kill him like that, and now things kind of get exciting. Obviously, I don't know how my Pegasus is going to go. But being at this pace is really nice because it's actually... I mean, obviously it's good to be on good pace, but like, I can afford to keep playing even if I don't have like Dimensional on the next duel. Which, guess what happens? Guess what happens? I don't get Dimensional on this next duel. I always imagine that the PB and the really good like sub 105, you know, I'd be getting these like 4-turn Pegasus and stuff, but... I basically play these duels as good as I could have without getting the Dimensional 4-turn setup, right? And so I keep my pace. You dream of Weevil? That's a bit interesting. Hi, Franz. Hope you're doing well. So yeah! Oh my god! Okay, you guys ready to see the magic of ROS and Monster Reborn? Are you guys ready? This fucking duel is why I love No Passwords. Oh my god, I love this duel. I loved this duel when I did it. So, I have Monster Reborn, and I'm like, I'm probably gonna need this for something. I have ROS, so I just want Dimension Hole, really, obviously, because if I have Dimension Hole and I ROS him, I'm fine. But, I'm not guaranteed to draw Dimensional, and I really don't want to throw this run, so I'm keeping the Monster Reborn, because there's like a lot of things I can do with it here, and you'll see. You'll see what I do here, and I love this play. I love this play, man. It's so good. I love it so much. So we don't get Dimensional, we're just going to crawl towards him, we're just going to see what he's doing, and at this point, I've kind of, like, at that draw, I've given up on Dimensional already. I'm like, fuck it. I kind of have a feeling about what I'm going to do, and we're just going to do it. I don't know what my next goal is. I'm probably honestly going to take a few days off of streaming and then think about what I want to do next. I might do Emulator or Duelist NG Plus next, otherwise I might just switch to console, we'll see. So anyways, you notice the second card he played top left and he moved to the right, and then he moves to the right again. We know that's a trap card. So I have this positioning now. So he could play Change of Heart or Brain Control here to attack me with my Kagemusha, but I kind of am happy if he does that, because then I don't have to worry about that anymore. But that's not how it worked out. So I get rid of his trap card. I don't have to worry about that anymore. So I play the Arc Archieso here in defense because I kind of want to bait him to attack me. I want him to... I want to move that card, basically. The card that he has to the top right of his deck list. I just need him to move that, like, anywhere to make this play. Now, that means that was a spell or, like, a really weak monster. But I just need it out of the way, because now I can play... I can ditch ROS with the Monster Reborn, and then activate the Monster Reborn to revive the ROS on the tile in front of where I activated it. And now I can attack him directly with ROS. And so ROS... Not only does it create water when it attacks, but it creates water in a plus when you flip it up. So not only do I change the tune to water to do 2600 instead of 1600, but I've also changed the water where he moves into, and I changed the water where my monster is sitting on. And I changed the water where that monster is, so that's not going to be something that flips up and kills me like TSS. And so now I can attack him directly, and I do another 2600, and I kill him. Okay? That is not possible. I could have done it with Kairi Shin, but I need a Monster Reborn to make that play. So whenever I talk about Monster Reborn being really cool, you know, we saw the play in MFLC, we saw the play in Pegasus. The fact that I lost, like, not even 2 seconds on that guy without Dimensional is insane. Like, that's such a good duel, despite not having Dimensional. Like, it's actually... I don't know how I didn't lose more time than that. It was such a good duel, and I played it so well. I played very fast. And I fucking, like... You know, this is why I want the PB so bad, because I do shit like this to save runs. I keep them alive, you know, and I'm just so glad about playing like that. So, now we get to Ishtar. She's killed so many of my runs. I've seen Mirror Wall on her so many times. I was so convinced she was not going to play it here. And then guess what happens, right? Guess what happens? Well, she doesn't play Mirror Wall, but... Watch what she does, okay? So, if she opens with a trap card, she plays it back left, defends with it. So here, I open with fucking nothing. I'm just getting rid of this. I'm just getting rid of all this stuff, really. I keep the Violet Crystal, because what I plan to do here is pass next turn and then attack her with an equipped Shadow Ghoul. Just some more damage. And then look, so she plays back left. But I have seen Mirror Wall on her so many fucking times that I was like, you know what? I don't think this is a Mirror Wall. I still check anyways, because I really didn't want to lose this run to this duel specifically, and I can play around it. But what I do is I defend with my plant just to double check if it's a Shadow of Eyes, and it is. So at that point, I know that I can just start attacking her. And guess what? I top deck an ROS. Now I hesitate a little bit here because I'm wondering if I want to attack her from the other side, but this is actually a good play. Better than I thought it would be, because what she's going to do is just move to the right and play out of the way. Like the, you know, Red Rose Duelists do the opposite way, like when you're playing against Marco, and you're attacking him from the other side. So this was totally fine. This was a good play in the end. I think I would have been fine either way, but like when you're on this pace, every little bit matters. You really don't want to lose a turn here and snowball out of control, so... Very, very, very good Ishtar. Very, very happy with that. Without top decking that, my plan would have been to attack there with a quick Shadow Ghoul and then try to do 2k damage on the turn after that, really. So I'm just so glad to get past that duel. I've got past so many problem duelists, and then the thing is about being confident in getting somewhere here with the Lab Ruler is that because I'm green, I can afford to actually beat Lab Ruler without a Dimension Hole and still be fine. So I wasn't panicking or anything. I didn't think I was going to draw Dimension Hole anyways, and of course I didn't actually draw it. I have to admit though, I did get lucky here. You'll see. I'll point it out, but I don't even know if I particularly played this as well as I should have. I played it a bit greedy, but it paid off. So immediately here you're digging for Dimensional, right? Here I go ahead and I activate the Yukazi because why not? It's just 500 damage. You never know if you're going to need it or not. You may as well just activate it now. You really just may as well, because then you also know what you're working with. And really the Yukazi can make the difference. I don't really think it made a difference here, but it could have. You'll see what damage I draw eventually, and how we kill him. This guy can kill a lot of runs. He can do stuff like activating Labyrinth Wall in the bottom left corner, and then there's no way to kill him apart from, like, finally drawing your Shadow Ghoul. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do here. I don't even particularly know why I did this play, but I think because he opened with Jirai Gumo, I wanted him to kind of not move it too far forward, so I just play this anyway and I pick it up. Kind of hoping that it's going to keep his Jirai Gumo away. again, like, I think safety is more important than anything else, really, like, in this stage of it. Anyway, he plays shift turn 2. Again, I don't really know exactly why the AI plays shift in situations like that. And yes, I got the ROS. Now, the thing is, ROS isn't actually that fantastic on this guy, because if he plays Sangha of the Thunder or Suijin, they will kill ROS, because they're boosted by water. So, ROS isn't really, like, I don't really know if it's going to be the play here until, you know, we're making the plays and everything. But I do have Fiend's Hand, so I'm really confident that I can just get rid of a buff monster if he plays it. So I play that first. He plays something out of the way, and he's going to start moving towards me, which is, you know, you want him to just keep moving towards the corner and then try to quickly pip him. So here, what I kind of expected is that if I defended with Fiend's Hand, he would kill it with his Labyrinth monster. I got lucky that he didn't know. But I just wanted to get that card off the field anyways and then play from there. I don't know what he's going to play next. But what he does here is he goes ahead and he plays Sangha of the Thunder. And guess what he does? He attacks into my Fiend's Hand and I don't have to worry about that anymore. So that's really, really nice. Very, very kind of him. So I don't have to worry about Sangha anymore. And if you imagine Suijin's like at the very bottom of his deck or something, anywhere in the bottom like 20 to 30, I don't have to really worry about that. It's like bottom point 25. So we got rid of his boss monster. That's his highest attack monster you can play. And then what I do here is I play this face down, because I'm kind of assuming he's going to move away and then attack into this, and I attack him directly, right? That's kind of what I'm expecting to happen. He didn't, though. He does play a spell here, I believe. Oh, no, it's a low attack monster, so he doesn't attack me there. The good thing about this being an Acid Troll, though, is it means he's not regenerating summoning power, so, like, after he plays the Acid Troll, like, he wasn't going to play the Suijin. But the thing is, the important thing is here, is that he didn't actually defend. If he moves to the right and defended to the left, I wouldn't actually have any way of, like, finishing him off, and I don't really know what I would have done after this, to be totally honest. So I'm taking a bit of a gamble. Like, at this point, I don't even really know exactly why I got rid of all this stuff, and, like, I don't even know why I kept it dancing off. I couldn't tell you, to be honest. I'm just trying to make sure that I win. So lucky here that he plays out of the way. Because now I have a clean shot with ROS. Completely clean shot. So I attack him with ROS, and then he only has 700 life points, so Yukazi didn't matter, because you'll see I play 1600 attack next turn. The reason for that is if he defended there with Eat Gaboon, it would destroy any monster I attack him that has 1500 attack or less. So even though he only has 700 life points there, I do want to kill him with something that has more than 1500 because I'm guaranteed to kill him there. So again, no dimensional on Pegasus, no dimensional on Lab Ruler, but I'm still green here, and that's very important. The next duel actually was pretty rocky, and I don't even think I played it particularly the best I could have played it either. I've had so many consistent Keiths lately that I was like, I had to kind of go based on memory. I had to go and play it a way that I just had to be different about how I approached it, and then I also got pretty lucky on him as well. Obviously, like a good run this game, you have to be lucky, but you kind of see what I mean. You'll see what I mean, because this was not a conventional Keith at all. Again, with no passwords, especially compared to any percent, right? You really have to play, like, there's a lot of free play. There's a lot of duels where you just don't really have a strategy you can play. So you have to just know how the game works, how the AI works, and stuff like that to really make sure you don't lose a whole run. It's very important, because otherwise, your run dies here. So, I don't have anything still on Wasteland apart from Cyberstein, which is, he's just going to kill that if I open with that and YOLO it. So I play a Griggle here. I didn't even really know if that was the play, to be totally honest. I probably should have played Cyberstein there, but, like, face down where that position is. Because with a 0 attack card, I can't use that Griggle to manipulate him to move in a certain direction. Pretty scary. I'm, like, trying to figure out what I want to do. Here, I think a better move, honestly, would have been to not waste Shadow Ghoul. I should have probably used my Dragon Zombie, or even my fucking Skeleton, because I make Pumpkin there anyway, and I keep my other resources, which are more important. It didn't matter anyway. We did get past this guy. See here, I move a card there. It's reasonably strong, and he keeps playing monsters, right? So if he kept playing monsters, and he played something weak, he would attack into that Pumpkin. But here, he actually plays a non-monster. Okay? So this could be Invis Wire, so I need to attack him like right now to make sure it isn't, because I need to just start doing something. So I go ahead again. I should really fuse my my other card, but I guess it didn't really matter. I was gonna make Pumpkin anyway, so I wasn't really thinking about what I was gonna keep because I still want to kill this guy relatively quick. The lucky thing here is the fact that he could not beat 2300. He would have had at least 6 summoning power here, and he could not kill Pumpkin. Like, if he had Machine King, he would have killed me. I don't know what this card is. He could have played, like, Giant Mech Soldier or Pendulum Machine. But he couldn't beat 2300, so he plays it out of the way, and I get a free hit, and I get past him, and I'm still green. This is probably a point where I'm like, you know, anyone can kill the run near the end. I'm not even expecting to get 2-turn set or anything like that. I'm not going to get excited until, like, the last 3 usually. But obviously you're starting to get a bit more optimistic you're going to finish the run, because every person you get past is, like, 1 less run killer, right? So now we're going into Panic. Now, I know I don't really particularly need a 2-turn to kill him. So watch how I play this. As long as I kill him, even in 4 turns, I'm still at a pace that I'm happy with, you know? My pace is so good here that I just need to kind of just focus, play, like, really consistently. And we'll see how the Panic goes. So, the coolest thing about this duel is if you draw a 2-turn setup, even if he doesn't give you a 2-turn, you can play it in a way that you basically always win. The thing is, his biggest trolls can be either time stealing you or opening with a really high attack monster, and he didn't do either of those, so it's fine. So, here I see what I have, right? I know that I've got 2k attack with the cards that I kept, so I send Witty Phantom out first, because I can still draw into 2100 or higher, and that sets up for a 2-turn. So what I actually do here is YOLO this, because if this is a trap card, I can attack him for 2k at least, which would kill him in 2 hits. 2-turn is impossible if he has a trap card behind him like that, but I'm not too worried. I know I have 2k in the hand, but actually I draw into more damage. So there, I was kind of hoping to draw into something that let me play Pumpkin, but I get Dark Elf, so I just play Dark Elf, so why not, you know? I think this is the only time I really use Dancing Elf, and I could have honestly played Pumpkin here. It didn't really matter much, but shout out to Dark Elf, why not play Dark Elf? Now here, I actually know that when he plays Diagonal Up and moves it down, it's not a trap card, but obviously I don't want to throw to assuming I know something that could be wrong. So I played the Google there and move it just in case, because I know that as long as I do that, I get past this guy and I'm fine. You know, better safe than sorry. Even though I didn't think that was a trap card, I was like, I just want to really make sure I get past this duel, because now I'm finally, for the first time in a very long time, at the final 3 on green pace. And I know that any of these 3 people at the end can kill my run. Richard and Seto are actually very likely to kill my run, more so than the final bosses. But, you know, I've had so many runs die that I'm like, whatever. You know, I'm just gonna play. I'm just gonna play the fucking game. I'm just gonna go into the duel, see what I draw, and play it how I know how to play it. Because, you know, at this point, like, if I don't get a lot of really good cards, and I'm playing kind of safely, I can still get a 106 something. My pace is so good, and there's still quite a bit of time save left in these last 3 duels, potentially, right? So I'll go to Richard, and, I don't even think I have a power... Maybe I have a Kunai with Chain, but I didn't feel like I'd be getting the Nekagal strategy here. So I wasn't even looking for that when I opened my hand, but as soon as I opened my hand, I knew what I was playing. I knew what I was playing, and I get really lucky here as well. You'll see why. So, I open with Yami, which is insane. It changes this duel so much. Even if you don't get a particularly crazily fast duel with it, you are just so much more likely to beat him, because you're changing the field, and all of your monsters are boosted 500, and he has all of his monsters boosted 500 less. Now, it's a bit scary when it opens top left, but he didn't move it down, so we know that's not Acid Trap Hole. That is just Curse Breaker. And then he's probably going to play a monster next turn, right? So I keep the Yami there, because what I'm going to do next turn is I'm going to activate it forward. And then that way, even though I'm attacking directly here onto the mountain, which weakens zombies, he'll then move onto the Yami, and then I have damage boosted. And this is one of the sickest top decks ever. I top deck a fucking Violet Crystal, so I can boost my Shadow Ghoul, so now I'll do 1600 and then 2600. Hi Ricky, thank you very much for the congratulations. I'm so happy. I got it offline, so we're just running it back now. And this was such a sick top deck because I wasn't expecting to draw it. I really wasn't. But like, he's not going to kill 2600. We deal 1600, he moves on to the Yami, and even if he played ATH there, I could move my deck leader and get that off the field. He didn't. We attack him with Shadow. Now, I think this is where I start to get really exciting. This is where I start to get really confident that we will potentially get a PB, right? Now, I couldn't predict what time we were going to end on whatsoever. I couldn't tell you. I didn't think we were going to get a 2-turn. I kind of was hoping for Dimension Hole because in this position, I kind of just want to be safe rather than greedy. But when it comes to Seto, you really just have to play... If you don't have Dimension Hole, you just have to play as much damage as possible, right? So this was a scary Seto, but I knew I had pace, and I knew that Seto is a pretty generous split by like a minute. So in this situation, I could probably have a bit of a slow Seto, and if I have a good final boss, I could still PB. So I was still pretty composed here. My heart rate definitely did increase at that Richard, because I knew that's one less run killer, and I felt at this point, I just needed a good Seto to PB, because 90 to 99% of MFL SKs will be fine. Honestly, they'll be fine. So there's a lot of dialogue here to skip, and then we get into Seto. So there's like a lot of anticipation, but I was pretty well composed, you know, doing these offline runs, and just the amount of runs I've had lately that have completely fucked me over. I was like, I'm not really nervous. Like, I've had so many runs die that I'm like, whatever, I don't really care. I'm just gonna play how I do, and I'm gonna let fate decide if it's a PB or not, basically. This is probably the most composed I've been on a really good pace ever, and it's interesting. Because, I don't know, I just felt it, you know, I felt a lot more confident lately in my offline runs. I've just really felt really composed, and I was just ready to accept. I was just ready to accept if this was a run or not, you know. I was just like, whatever. I don't care if it dies, I don't care if it's 106.50 something. I'm just gonna play it. Yo, Hypnoshark, thank you for the GGs, man. GGs on your world records as well. You got fucking, you improved. Was it 101%? Congrats, man. Holy shit. So, we're going to Seto now, right? So the normal manip is to play a lot of damage to get him to move forward, but he doesn't do that. Yeah, so this is just, like, not really how you're supposed to fight Seto, right? So if I don't have 1500 damage or higher, the best play is to play as much damage as I can, but keep it face down. But the thing is, because he didn't open with the monster at all, he plays to the left and he moves to the right. So it's like, after this, I'm checking for, like, a Shadow Ghoul, and I might play on. But at this point, I'm kind of thinking, you know, maybe my run's fucked. It's like, whatever, I'm just gonna play what I have. So, I check my hand, and look who it is! Oh, it's Dimension Hole, and it's fucking Roaring Ocean Snake. So I'm like, fuck it, I have no other play apart from exiting out and maybe throwing the run. So I'm just gonna commit to this. Here, him playing to the left is super important, because he obviously moves forward to his normal tile, and I have a free hit. I know I'm attacking for 2600. He could have opened with negate attack, but I'm like, I just have to fucking play this. I just have to... Even if it's there, I have to get on the field, I just have to keep fucking playing. So I leapfrog towards him, and I make sure that I can fucking draw some lethal damage next turn. I really need 1400 next turn. So I attack him with the ROS here, clean hit. Now it's like, I think when I started to get really excited, it was like here. I'll tell you exactly when I was like 100% sure that I was getting this. But this is where I was like, oh, we're actually doing this. Like, we're actually, like, this is actually being accomplished right now. You know, I haven't felt that in any fucking, like, I haven't felt that in so long, where I was just like, I think this is actually it. Like, I was really confident. I moved the ROS to the right here, just in case something goes wrong. I still want that on the field, but here, I can play either Komori Dragon or Chimera. I did Chimera, shout out to Jazzy Chimera. I'm sure she'll be very happy that I use this monster at least once in this run. I mean, I used it for Weevil. So, yeah, Chimera is also very, very important here. We beat him, and I'm green, you know, and I'm just so happy because this MFL SK, it just needs to go okay, you know? I'm just expecting to draw like 1350, 1400 attack monsters on Crush, take it slowly and calmly, and go from there. And we didn't get like a full-on YOLO fucking TAS final boss, but we got a better than average final boss. And yeah, I was definitely getting, you know, obviously, you know, when you're on a run like this, your heart rate's increasing, but I was still very well composed. Because I didn't think anything was going to go drastically wrong. I was just expecting this to be a very standard MFL SK and just finish the run, get a 105 something, and I would have been happy with that. But being, like, being past even Seto Kaiba green, like, I was actually very relieved. MFLSK is not a run-ender as much as a lot of the other duelists are in the game, especially, like, the 2 people behind him. He's even less of a run-ender than, like, Panic and Keith and, like, Lab Ruler, Ishtar, Pegasus, Weevil, so I was like, whatever. I'm just gonna play this how I always play it. And it'll probably be okay, you know? So, I was able to just calm myself down, and... yeah. So we go into the duel. And then we get excited again. So, because he has Crush in all the middle, we're not looking for, like, ROS or anything. We're just kind of looking for... what you're most likely to win with is, like, 1400 attack cards, or 1350. That's kind of what I'm looking for. But you'll see what I draw. You'll see what I draw, right? And the moment I draw this, I get very excited. So we open with a Yami, which is fucking massive. It's massive. You could attempt to make a YOLO play here, but it depends on what he plays. So the moment that he played in front of him, I wasn't YOLOing this. There was no way. We were playing it as safe as possible. So I moved the Yami to the right, and then I play Asagi in front of him. I know that I have, like, dragon, zombie, stuff like that. I already basically know what's going on, right? He plays a monster out of the way. Luckily, he doesn't double Yoku. That would have been scary, because it could, like, double Yoku, then Tremendous Fire and kill me. But very relieved he played a monster. So I activate the Yami first, because he could have a Mirror Force on that first turn, and I don't want Yami to die. Now, the thing is, you activate it here so that he's still standing on the Crush tile, because now if you attack him with cards that are 1500 attack or higher, he doesn't move off that tile. Again, if I try to attack that face down first, my Yami would have exploded. But now I was like, okay, I know my play, I'm going to attack with 1600, then next turn I attack again with 1600, and then something else in my hand, right? I'll tell you exactly when I knew this was world record, and that this was the run, was this play right here. You see? He equips again! So we know that's a monster, we know that's not Mirror Force, we know that's not going to kill our run, and I know that now I'm going to attack him directly with my Shadow Ghoul, and I'm going to attack him directly with fucking anything, and just kill him. So, I see in my hand, I quickly check if he got 800 or higher, so I don't fuse, and we kill him with a fucking Gruesome Goo. We kill him with the Gruesome Goo. Even, like, if I...
there it is.
If I fused...
This was an offline attempt.
Like,
I didn't have my
Dragon Zombie
microphone on the whole
fused,
time, but oh my god. I am so
we
happy.
would have lost,
I can't
like,
believe it.
what,
I'm so
5 to 10
sorry
seconds or
that
something.
I wasn't live with this, but
and that was it.
holy
That was the
shit.
run.
This
I
is a
literally
run
got
I've been
OTK'd by
screaming
MFLC,
for, man. I can't believe it.
and I still get sub
I
105.
can't believe it. I actually
And that
can't
is-
believe it. This
I'm
is
not
insane.
shitting you,
I
that is
really
the
wish this
best
was
run
live on Twitch. But oh
in
my
history.
god. I don't even
Of this
know,
game.
like, how to
Yeah,
explain.
no, I forgot about that until now. But there you go.
Oh, I'm so proud of myself. I kept myself composed the whole time. I'm just so happy with this.
Listen to it.
Oh my god. Oh my god, man. Oh my god. I know I'm not on webcam or anything, but I had to unmute my microphone to just... oh my god, dude. Holy shit. I have to be honest, my heart wasn't... I don't think I was, like, really confident until, like, I got past Richard. I had a good feeling about it. I stayed really composed on Seto Kaiba. And then in that last, basically the moment he played his second monster, and I knew it wasn't a trap card, my heart started exploding, because I knew I'd won. I knew I had this. I didn't even care if it was like a 105 or something. I was just so glad that I beat 105.49 finally on the emulator. Holy shit, man! I can't believe that. Oh my god. 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 And like, I'm so paranoid that this... like, oh my god, if the power trips are out now, this would be the saddest thing ever. So, I kind of want to stop recording. I'm just gonna stop recording, I think, very soon. Like, I don't know, what could possibly trip the power, right? That would be the most unfortunate thing ever. But I'm just gonna save the game to verify. In case something fucking goes wrong, I don't know, man. That's it. It's all legit. We're at the credits. Sound's still going, no sound glitch. I'm done. Oh my god, I'm stopped recording before something tragic happens.